Yo, what's going on, people? Early WrestlePurists worldwide today. Myself, Anna, joined by special co-host Lyric. And yeah, we're early today. As you guys probably already know, Ibu is in training for his trade special at 5 p.m. Eastern this evening on South May. So make sure you guys lock into that directly after this. And we're also on the countdown to WrestlePurists Worldwide 150. Hence why, we had to get the special reinforcements with Lyric in today. Yeah, my special guest host. You guys are on mute, just giving you a heads up to take yourselves off mute. And yeah, man, we're going to be here for the next, 90 minutes, hour, 30 minutes. We've got a few things to talk about. Of course, it was a big week of announcements, man. Big week of announcements, especially for the AEW women's division. Blood and Guts wasn't officially announced, but we know we're getting it. We know we're getting it. Jamie Hayter officially laid down the gauntlet on Collision this past weekend, and of course Tony Khan made the official announcement of AEW women's tag team titles being introduced to the division as well. So, and there's some other big announcements over the weekend as well. We're getting the NXTNA Invasion show, which we'll go over that quickly as well. But first things first, Lyric, we appreciate you joining me and Anna on this special worldwide, of course, your worldwide debut, I'd imagine. How you feeling, man?
Thanks for having me. Really happy to be here. I'm doing well today. It's been raining all day, but it doesn't bother me because I'm not going outside.
Fairs. Fairs. Respect. I can appreciate that. And Anna, as always, here on the Mondays. This is probably a good time. We should be getting peak form, Anna, at this time, not tired. She's got the camera on, the lighting's a little bit, we can make some edits, but how you feeling, Anna? You feeling fresh, you feeling awake? How's it going?
I've been working since 8 a.m. at the office.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I don't feel the most fresh, Monty. Some people have 9 to 5s, but I'm feeling a lot better. It's not midnight. It's 9 p.m. for me, so it's a lot better. And I'm sorry about the lighting. It's because the main light was just way too bright, and this is like my fairy lights, as you can see. So this is all the lighting you're getting. But now I am not suspended anymore. I'm allowed to show my face. I'm not shamed into my Brian Cole icon. Yeah, we did the jokes about Chris Jericho, and Monty was just like, this is enough. You are not allowed to show your face. You embarrassed this channel.
Lyric,
and it took a while,
Let me defend myself as a
man
of
the people.
Listen, I'm a man of the people, okay? I'm a man of the people. I'm pro workers' rights as well. I must put that out there, And what Anna and Ibu did on that infamous episode of WrestlePurists Worldwide was not simply Jericho talk or Jericho slander. It was 2 hours of non-stop Ibu and Anna Jericho impressions, which got us heat. It's our most disliked video in probably of the year. It's some people fucked with it and they were along with the ride and they were hooting and hollering and laughing it up and everyone was loving it. But some people were like, "Yo, this isn't a podcast, bro." Like it got nasty, man.
We went for like 2 hours just making jokes with Y2 something because we're talking about like, oh, if Jericho goes to WWE, like, oh, Y2 Joe Hendry, Y2 this, Y2 that, like, Y2 Javon. So that just went on for 2 hours and we were having the time of our lives, But yeah, the people did not like that. That was against public interest, and Ibu and I suffered very harsh consequences.
Listen, man, that's what had to be done. It was cool. It sounds cool when you just like, you put it in a little bow like that. It's cool. There's a little 10 minutes, 15-minute segment lyric, but this was 2 hours. People were begging for it to stop in the live chat. It was crazy. So
Y2 Hendry sounds like terrorism. Like it sounds like actual terrorism. I can't imagine.
There were some really good ones, okay? There was amazing ones in there. But people, Y2 Judgment Day, like I could go on and on. Like it's been proven, but I'll be quiet. I don't want to be suspended again,
Like imagine if like that's how Jericho re-debuts and WWE is like, say his name and he appears, and then you hear "Break the walls down."
This is what. Come in. Stop.
Lyric, this is how it
We're
starts.
sliding
We start
into
going.
the. Yeah, this is what happens. This is how it starts, Lyric. Don't
Look at
fall
the
into
chat.
it, man. I
Sorry,
need you to
sorry.
lock in.
It's to Jay. But like I start Monty, if
Come
this
on,
does
man.
happen though, if Jericho goes to WWE, we will need a show behind the paywall, which is just Ibu and I reviewing every single Jericho
That's
segment.
fine. That's fine. If it
I
happens,
beg you.
if it happens, like, why are we even talking about Jericho right now? Anyway, if it happens, cool. I'll let you cook something up or whatever sick, twisted ideas you've got for this poor audience. They've been through enough, Anna. They've been through it, and you want to put them through more. Just nastiness,
sorry. It's the best segment that ever happened in this channel, and I'm so sorry to the people that don't understand the genius of it.
So you've
was
started the chat off like.
Let's talk about women again. Women.
Yes, let's talk about women. Let's talk about the women.
Why to Julia? It's gonna go crazy.
No,
my God.
stop. Not WWE women right now. We're gonna talk about the big announcements, the newsworthy, topical announcements. Not the. Why does Lyric look like she's just?
Why to Julia sounds like
Oh, okay,
Julia
okay.
with a J.
you need to be on a list. You should be on a list for that.
Listen, it was it got worse. It got crazy.
It was crazy. You got crazy.
It's it was a moment that I'm trying not to relive, But anyway, yes, women's wrestling in All Elite Wrestling. That's where I want to start today. First big topic of the day is, of course, like I just said at the top of the show, the big announcements. The AEW women's tag titles finally, and women are going to be competing in the Blood and Guts match as well this year. Like I said, it wasn't officially announced, but we know we're getting it. Jamie did the whole, made the cool Blood and Guts. Everyone was excited for her to say it, did that that kind of. It was weird, I thought, because it was just 2 versus 3, And normally, like, when the Blood and Guts or, quote, War Games or whatever announcement gets made, it's usually like a 10-person brawl,
But
Whereas this was a pretty normal, like, post-match, run out.
I like that though, and the reason why is because like so much has happened over like the past week with like Chris becoming champ, and like now Tony's, we don't know what she's up to, and it's a lot of question marks. Like I felt like we thought we knew who was going to be in Blood and Guts, but so much has happened to where like I think now we don't know. And so I think it's going to be cool because I feel like these last couple of years with the men's side, Blood and Guts has had like a weak build, and and they run the match, right? It ends up being good, but like there's no real build to it. But now I feel like we're actually going to have like these stories, like they're going to have to like build like who's going to be in it, which side are certain people going to be on, like pulling Marina into the mix, because Marina doesn't really interact with a lot of the women's division. So I think like there's a lot of different potential of like where this actually ends up going. So I'm excited to see like who ends up being in the match.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, there's a lot of I guess predictions we could make about it, but I guess kind of I think both of us have had conversations, like I've had conversations with both of you, should I say, like even recently, Lyric, about kind of, Tony would be asked like, oh, when are you doing tag titles? When are you doing this? When are you doing that? And there would always be some form of excuse. And I vividly remember having a conversation of us like, just stop the excuses, just do it. Wake me up when they do it, And that wasn't that long ago. Then Anna, you've kind of been the same, like ad nauseum at most, of just like tag titles. When are the women getting kind of like what the men should get? That's always been something you've stood on. And it's like, boom, we get this 1-2 punch of just like, okay, it seems like they're locking in for the end of 2025, and hopefully it's something that they can really build on. So, yeah, Anna, was you kind of excited to see, Jamie make the announcement on kind of what felt like a random collision as the show was going, But you know.
Yeah, I was surprised by it because I feel like it's been years now that we've been talking about like a women blood and guts. When is it gonna happen? And it feels like there were so many moments that it felt like it was the right moment for it to happen, and then it just never happened. For like a few years we could have pinpointed some storylines that a blood and guts would have been great on, and then we never got to that. So now it also feels like a good moment, and it feels like a good storyline, but it also the way that it just came about, it was just kind of like, oh, okay, this is it, sure. It was not like we were expecting it necessarily this time like we were the other times. So I am curious to see how they're going to put more people into the story, because I would say I would like Mercedes to be in this match, but I don't know how likely that is, but I would like her to be involved in some capacity. Chris, Willow, they should definitely be there. I really think so. So I just want to see how they're going to structure it, how they're going to make sure all those storylines go together, because I do see a path for it to happen. Like Chris and Marina can just get into it and then they go into the blood and guts as well. Mercedes can just go in because she's Mercedes and she wants to be there and she wants to go against like Willow or Chris or those kind of people. And then I would put like Alex as well, like with Jamie, because I would build them as tag team. And like I think you can have different ways to put people into that. But I'm very curious to see how they're going to structure it, because this do seem like a weird time. Not a weird time, but compared to the other times that we thought the blood and guts was happening, this is one of the most surprising ones that is happening. But I'm very curious to see that, and I already like how it's established so far, because you can say whatever you want about Julia or Sky, but they are very much the kind of wrestlers that just give their body up for like everything that comes. And Tekla as well, Jamie we know, and Aminata, she's just insane. So I think just for the people that we have now, it's already a very good match on paper. So I'm just curious to see how else they're going to build, and I do hope that every week it just adds more and more and more until we get to the match. And this match should be the main event of whatever show it's in. Like, let's just make this clear.
Yeah,
Of course.
I would like to see as many people as possible, like the stars, to be in it. Like, just because now that I'm thinking about it, I know some people are like, oh, well, it's never on pay-per-view, but we have to think about like the last couple Blood and Guts. It was also at a time where AEW was regularly running like big arenas for TV, which doesn't really happen anymore. So like the only times that there's really like these bigger arenas is pay-per-view. And if you're going to do Blood and Guts on pay-per-view, I think that should just be the first women's main event. I mean, especially if you can get all the stars, aligned. Like, the thing is, yes, Mercedes says she's not going to blade, but does she really have to if it's 9 other people in the match? Like, we've had Okada and Shibata do blood and guts matches. Like, there's plenty that we can give Mercedes to do without making, her do like
Mutilate herself.
yeah, like she's not comfortable with, and I think especially if you could get Tony in there, you get all these big stars like the division really like take this big step together all at one time. I think I said it on Twitter, like Mercedes doesn't have a clear challenger for Wrestle Dream anyway. Yeah, she's going to break the record at that point, but there's no clear, at least right now, there's no like really real thing lined up. Chris is obviously still beefing with the Death Riders anyway. Tony's now available. Like, this is one pay-per-view cycle where one Hangman doesn't really have a clear, super challenger either. Why not? Why not? Unless like they plan on running some bigger arena for a TV upcoming, but I think that they might as well just go for it. And try to get everybody in there. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I think for Mercedes, from what Sari said in the last Stardom pay-per-view, they're probably gonna run Sari versus Mercedes at Wrestle Dream, which is like fucking dream match. It's just going to be absolutely phenomenal if that really is the case. That would be also the perfect pay-per-view for that to happen, and then it would be like a great excuse. I don't think anyone would be upset of Mercedes missing out on Blood and Guts if she's having a match against Sari. And then you would have the opportunity, for example, for Megan Bain to join the heel team, like for like a Tina maybe. Like you have enough people who could be in this match, and you would be like a very amazing team to be in that match. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to fill out that and how they're going to structure it, and what is going to be the position on the card. I feel like that's something also that I'm very curious about.
Yeah, it's really open at the moment. Like we said, kind of like who's going to be in it, when is it going to be, where is it going to be, etc., etc., etc. Because yeah, if it is one of those situations where it seems like it's lining up to be on pay per view, it's like you're gonna need something special to a main event over it if it goes in the direction that we hope it does, where you get a few stars involved, you know. And even like Mercedes, obviously she tweeted about it, you know, and everyone who's a fan of Mercedes knows what Mercedes doesn't play it, you know. Mercedes, you know, she doesn't want to be involved in like these super gory matches and stuff. But you know, maybe
Maybe
this
that's
being
what. Yeah.
because it's a first ever and it's an
Absolutely.
occasion, and that's
Mhm.
almost like Mercedes' thing at this point throughout her career. You know, she did it in WWE, she'll do it here. You know, it's almost like her being in like the first Hell in a Cell or whatever. You know, it's like that sort of thing. So, maybe she'll be in it. She's not gonna play it, but we know that she doesn't need to. Her name on the graphic, you know, at Blood and Guts is enough to get what you need out of Mercedes Moné being in a match like that. You know,
For sure.
never mind what she would contribute to it without having to mutilate herself. You know, but I think like if you look at who it is in it, and I think Anna kind of touched on this, like you're starting off strong, you know, because Queen, like more thing, and Ibu always touches on this as well, bro. Like when there's a steel cage match or an ODQ match, it's about like you don't want it to feel like props and fucking like wink
Absolutely.
wink and stuff like that. And I think starting off with Jamie Hayter, Queen Aminata, you know, people like that, Decla, you know, Anna touched on as well, like how Julia and Scarlett, they're down for whatever, bro. You know, like so it's this strong start. Like you know, Aminata's not going to be throwing like any pussy slaps and shit in there. Do you know what I mean? Like if she's swinging something at someone, she's swinging something at
Yeah.
someone. And same for a few of the other women. And there's plenty of other women on AEW's roster who are just game as fuck, bro. You know, so hopefully they get the balance right there. Structure of the match, of course, is just kind of going to be whoever's in charge of like putting that match together has got a very important job, you know, because you want them to, you know, not just steal the show, steal the month. Like that's what you want. You really want to make a statement with a match like this. But a few people think if Billy Starks is in it, bro, Billy Saints? I think that's meant to say Billy Starks. But if Billy Starks is in it, she's I'd
God
worry.
bless everybody.
I'd worry about what she would want to do in the, you know, what would she be pitching?
That would
You
be
know?
concerning.
Billy Starks and Sky Blue are going to do things that are probably none of those words are in the Bible.
Yeah, it's who else could we? Who do you think? Do we think Willow's in it? Do we think Stats in it? Do we think
Man,
Marina's in it? Like who are the people at the top of your list who you're pretty sure's to be announced in this?
I think Stat should be in it. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
that there's no reason to rush Stat versus Tony. Like I mean, obviously we're gonna get that match on pay per view, but I think it would be really cool to see them team up first. Because you
Mm.
know, think about like Tony's reaction to Stat winning. It wasn't like anger or anything like that. It was more so awe. You know, like she's more so awe. And I think like if this ends up being like this team AEW thing, like what we saw at the tailgate brawl with, you know, all of the baby faces wearing the AEW shirts, I don't think that you can do team. I think you need both of those people for like a team AEW. Like imagine Chris, Tony, Willow. Like those are, you know,
Mm.
that's as big as it gets. And so yeah, I would. I think that those names are, and I think also too, you have to start using Tony's star power for stuff like this since she's not the champion anymore. Like use that star power to uplift everybody else in a non-title capacity. Um, I think Megan Bain is going to be a given here. I'm unsure about maybe Penelope, but I'm not sure if they're trying to get more stars in there. If you do get like a Mercedes or an Athena, I think Penelope becomes more of a question mark.
Athena would be. Yeah,
You
let's
know,
get
Athena would be
Athena in.
crazy.
Yeah, let's get
Dead
Athena
eclipse from
in.
the top of the cage. Ooh.
we need to run that agenda soon. You know, like I think I need Athena. You've said it now. You've put it out there into the world.
you know,
Yeah.
She's still out at the
I
moment, though,
would.
isn't she? So
Yeah. But I would absolutely love Alex Windsor in this match, because I don't know if any of you guys have seen, there was like, was it last year or something, when she was still in Rev Pro on the anniversary show that they had before All Out, like the same All In, I mean the same weekend. She had like a 10 women that it was also like very not a blood and guts, of course, Rev Pro, it's different budgets, but it was also like no DQ, like falls count anywhere kind of vibe. I don't remember exactly what was the stipulation, but it was 10 women and they were breaking stuff, they were hitting each other, they were bleeding, and it was like such a good match. And Windsor, she's also the kind of wrestler that she just does anything, and she just puts her body on the line, and she just like for the love of the game. So I think that she's been showing off very well so far. But also, if they want to put her and Jamie as like a team for the tournament for the tag titles, that would also be like a good way to establish them together and just to establish her name a bit more. And I know she would have like a very big role. She would contribute a lot to this match. So just out of a personal preference, I would like to see her as well, because I feel like for a match like this, you do need wrestlers who are 100% in. Like I said, I would love to see Mercedes in this, but if she wouldn't be like 100% like sold and like I need to do this, I need to do that, I would love to see her versus Sari more than to see her in this match. So I just want to see wrestlers that I know would do anything it takes. And if Penelope Ford would do more things that it takes than someone who's a bigger name, then maybe I would rather see her as well. So
I think also I saw that like Sari has a match on Wrestle Dream. Like she has a Spark Rush has a tag team match from what I believe. Like yeah, so at least for Wrestle Dream, I don't think that that's gonna be an option.
When's Tony
she.
gonna get his shit together,
Mhm.
bro? Cerie's been seemingly at least available and to come over and do something. So
I would save that match though, seriously, if they really plan on doing it. If AEW does end up doing Grand Slam Tokyo, which I really, really hope ends up happening, like if you get Okada Takeshita on that card, you put Mercedes Suri on that card, I would save that. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that match. I would save it. Like I'd just save it for a better time than like a 3 week build. Like these are the two of the most important women in wrestling of our this decade. Like let's save it for a crowd that's really going to appreciate it. No offense to St. Louis, but yeah.
Mm, yeah. Also, do you remember when they put Shuri in the women's casino gauntlet, and then it seemed like she was gonna be like, ooh, she's gonna have like a nice, like
She
some
got
nice matches in AW, and then she got injured, and then but now she's back already, right? She's wrestling. They just never even brought it up again. I would still like to see her doing like a little run in AW. I feel like she has a lot of potential great matches in the roster as well. Like her versus Chris for the title would be like a great little week. I know for me it would be a pay-per-view main event any day, but I think it would be like for in AW standards a good like week main event, like a Dynamite or Collision main event. I feel like you would still be able to do that. So if it's still possible for them, that would be quite nice. But
yeah,
she's already wrestling in Stardom, so she's not injured anymore.
I think she's going to though. Like I think the next time we see Shuri might be honestly the tag tournament. Like her and Sheeta have been talking a lot recently about now that they've been teaming up together, and they said that they want to wrestle here, in AEW in the States. So that's really what I'm hoping. Like that's like the gateway, and then I can finally get Shuri versus Athena, which I think would
Mm-hmm.
also be amazing if they are able to get that in Japan this year. But yeah, I think Shuri's coming. I think we might get FWC or Shuri and Sheeta. Maybe not
hmm.
both in the tag tournament. I would like both. But yeah. Um
Have they
that would
said how many teams are going to be in the tag tournament?
no, we have no idea. No
Okay.
information about it yet.
So since we've kind of
Mm-hmm.
naturally gone over to that, AEW's finally announced tag titles. We've wanted it for a long time. It's kind of it's started to make a lot more sense over the course of this year. We've kind of like duos, tag teams, tag matches, the all star tags, etc., etc. A lot of like alliances have been formed, and there's like there's a real heel group in the division and stuff now. So it's kind of it makes, I guess, better sense than ever. To do it now. And how big do we think the tournament will be? We've kind of obviously just spoke about like who could potentially, what overseas competitors could be in it. But yeah, do we think it's going to be like a very large tournament or not? Surely it can't be too big, can it? It'll be like an 8
No.
team.
I'm thinking
You
8.
know?
I think 8. I think 8 as well. I mean, if they want to, I think they can like push enough that they can do more than 8. But I think 8 is just like a safe option.
Yeah.
And we have like I could say 18 off the top of my head, that I feel like it could be there. So I think it makes sense.
I hope they don't do that bullshit where they like do like a freeway in the first round. You know,
God.
I wouldn't be shocked if they did though. Just you know how they
I hate that shit, man.
you know how they do.
It's literally they love doing that bullshit, man. You remember when they did it with the Continental Classic, but for like the final of the blocks, and then we had the was it Swerve, Moxley, Jay White in one of them, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was I hate triple threats, man. But it's, yeah, who
I
were
like
the
triple
teams that
threats, but like for tournaments, it doesn't make sense. So
yeah,
No.
I don't like it, man. And I'm thinking of the teams that will immediately be in it. So obviously like Julia and Sky. You gotta assume
Ty
they'll be in
J.
it.
Ty J.
Tay J will be in it.
They're the first
Yeah.
team. They addressed it on Collision too.
Megan and Penelope,
Mhm.
very, very likely as well.
Yeah. Maybe Chris and Harley Cameron. I don't know how's that situation there, but like they're also a very established team right
They can
now.
fill a spot. They could fill a spot.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Who could Mercedes tag with?
I don't think she would.
I think Mercedes definitely. I think if she doesn't do Blood and Guts, she'll definitely do the tag tournament.
With
Like
who?
I think she's gonna just because maybe Athena. I think maybe Athena.
Who beats them though, bro? Like,
Yeah. No, because if Athena would be in the tournament, I would see her with Billy probably, and then Billy would be the one to get pinned to like keep that whole thing going. But I think that would probably be the case. But yeah, maybe Aminata would be. Aminata and Mercedes would also be insane. But I don't think I would love to see Jamie and Windsor. They also talked about it a little bit on social media that they're interested in making like this tag team, and I think would be a very good tag team as well.
I think Jamie's turning heel.
She can turn heel in the middle of the tournament,
I think she's turning heel. Like
she joining the Death Riders or
yeah,
or
something's off about her. Even like in a good way, but something's off about her. Like she's been super aggressive lately, and like even the way that she got like in Stat's face about the Death Riders and saying like I'm willing to do whatever. Like I think that's a red herring. Like I think, and even like her announcing double Blood and Guts being the one to like formally say it, I think she's going to be the one to like turn on her team like mid match.
Yeah, I could see. So I think there's definitely something to Jamie turning heel and being the one to join the Death Riders, and I've always thought it would be a better option than Chris, to be honest. Because as I spoke about before on the channel, I don't really think it's what I'd like to see Stat do. It's not the type of character I'd like to see her become. It's I don't want to see Stat walking around hooded up, fucking brooding. I don't want to see Stat doing that. I'm not 100% sure what Chris Statlander's final form character should be either, but I know it's not that, And
Yeah.
I think Jamie could do something. I think Jamie could bring a little bit more to that role as well, to be honest.
I think this week was like the first time where I kind of finally felt clear on who the Chris Statlander character could be. Like I think she should just be a fucking superhero. Like, she is a superhero. Like, like she looks like one. Like I think like she can move like one. And I think she's one of those people to where she's a little weird. She's a little quirky, but she has a good heart. She protects people. Like she very similar to Hangman in that regard of like that very real, relatable, real person type hero. Like, like not because she has any superpowers or anything, but just very like real person like. But also still susceptible to making bad choices every now and then. Still like not completely perfect or I think like they're heading in that direction. Like, you know, she's not fully the alien. She's not fully like the Zoolander cosplay, but she's a mix of all these different things. And I feel like this is the closest we've gotten to her being complete, you know? So
Yeah, she came across great at the end of Dynamite on Wednesday, of course, like, you know, give you John Finger the middle finger and stuff like that, running through the crowd, Harley kind of lacking behind her. You know, it was, she came across great.
That's the biggest pop, like, I think she's gotten in a really long time, too. Just, I think people have always wanted to cheer her, you know? Like, people have always really wanted to cheer her. But they have
to says she's Clark Kent.
Yes!
I hear it, man. I hear it. That's a good spot, man. Yeah, shout out Stat. I think, yeah, maybe Stat and Harley are in this tag tournament. Do anybody have any? I have an early kind of who I think should win it, and do you guys have any kind of like early? I don't know, any flags you want to plant in the ground?
I think if Stat and Willow are the team, then I think that they should win. I'm just not sold that they're actually going to be a team in this tournament. Like, you know,
yeah, I don't think so.
Stat's world champ as well. So would you go double? You going double bout Stat?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yes. And the reason why is because I think out of all of the top girls that they have developed in AEW, even though Stat has like some accolades, she's probably the most underdeveloped as far as like accomplishments wise. Compared to like Willow, who was able to get all these international, like, you know, championships and hardware. Mercedes, Athena, Tony all speak for themselves. Like, I think they're still very much still in the process of establishing Chris Statlander as one of the best to ever do it, you know. And I think, yeah, two belt her up, just like they did with Pat when the trio, you know, like.
It's a bit different when one of them's the world title, though, isn't it? Yeah. This is levels above what Pac did, like, in a good way, I guess. You know, it depends on level people fuck with Statlander. I think they fuck with them enough to, especially if it's Stat and Willow. You know, like that, people aren't going to turn their nose up at that.
But when is the tournament supposed to start? Oh, sorry.
We don't know that either. I will say, AEW really did kind of pull the wool over their eyes. They said, yeah, everything's coming. They gave their no dates, no answers, no concrete explanation.
Okay.
They said, yeah, it's coming. Yeah, I think, somebody said, yeah, Stat and Willow losing their belts leading to their world title program. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they need to hold the tag belts long. You know, I think like you need to keep those belts kind of really like moving across the division, especially if that's going to be like an alternative to people holding it for a while. But I do think you do need to put it on like a big name team to start. Now, I do think the alternative is putting it on Tony and whoever her partner is.
Like, Mina, probably.
Mina, yeah. Even though I do think I like Tony and Mina together as characters. But I do believe that Tony and Alex were the better tag team wrestling.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so, but yeah, I think Tony being that first champion, I wouldn't be able to argue with that whatsoever. But either way, I don't think like anybody should be holding those belts too long, at least to start with.
And I also think that if it is something that they do turn Jamie and she does join the Death Riders, then eventually Jamie and Marina would be the team that would, like, you know, win from whoever the champions are. Especially if it is Jamie and the champion is Tony, then they already have that history between them, that Jamie already beat Tony before, so it would even make more sense of that being the story that they built towards, you know?
That actually would be a really good final for the tournament too. Jamie and Marina and versus Tony and Mina. That would be a really good final.
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. I think I said this on the member stream I did with Joe, but I think the first women's tag titles, based off what I know about Tony Khan and what I've seen about Tony Khan and knowing how he kind of sees people, the people he has genuine interest in and the people that he'll get behind if they're in the middle of something, you know, and can make sure it's focused on properly. am really hoping the first women's tag champs is Tony and whoever her partner is, whether it's Mina, whether it's Windsor, whoever it is, because my worry would be if they put it on almost anybody else, it could almost just fall into being just less important and stuff. Whereas if it's on Tony, like I know Tony Khan adores Tony
1000%.
Storm and wants her to be a huge part of the TV and focus on and stuff like that. So now that it also keeps her completely out of the title picture with good reason. So yes, it would be like a really big way to start off, with like Tony and somebody else, and it's like they're going to be all over TV. They're going to have live segments. They're going to have fucking video packages. They're going to have everything because Tony loves working with Tony Storm. He loves it. So whereas if it was I don't know, man,
Anybody else?
literally pretty much, and even Willow and Stat, bro, like
Yeah.
I'd have some kind of. I would like to lean on the optimist side, and be like, Stat's world champ now, but like, yeah, Tony Storm's the only, and whoever a partner is the only one that would fill me with like real confidence that they're going to give this tag division a real good head start, and like something that whoever wins it off Tony and Mina, whether that's a Marina and Jamie down the line, whether that's a Stat and whoever it is, or even like a Megan and Penelope, it's that like they've got the belts in the division to a point where it's like the other people in the division can really run with it then, and you've got like a healthy division to start with, and hopefully Tony would continue a similar focus because he would hopefully kind of fall in love with the division and how it can use up TV time for him or whatever it is you want to hope or look at it from, so that's where I'm at. It needs to be Tony.
I think also too, like we're at a point right now where there are noticeable gaps on television because so many guys like, oh my God, hi Daddy.
Oh, thank you.
We are at a point right now where there's so many gaps on television because so many of the top guys are gone. And I kind of feel like maybe that's why Tony feels like, yeah, well, we ain't got nothing better to do. Let's put women in here. Which, whatever. But I also think that Tony and Mina, you can do so much with them on screen. Like
a lot
of
TV time to
they're
eat
real
up with them
characters.
too.
Yeah.
Right? Like even if they're not wrestling on screen, they're always going to be doing something. They bounce well off of each other. They're really entertaining. And honestly, I think Tony and Mina have more natural chemistry on screen together than probably Tony and Mariah did. Like, I think like it feels more natural rather than like overly scripted at times, which I think is really good about them. So yeah, I can't argue with that. I would love I think you'll never see me argue about doing more things with Tony Storm. It's just more so like making sure that everybody else is doing stuff too. I think that's really where we kind of are. But I know for a fact, like if she has those tag belts in her hands, it's going to be a big deal. Like she's the only ironclad woman on the roster, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say that a Tony and Mina, like them being the first champions for this title, is probably the best way to kick off the titles, because there are also two of the wrestlers in the whole of AEW, not just women's wrestlers, that have a lot of appeal for outside audiences, not just for the AEW audience, but they are wrestlers that are draws in a way that people are interested, maybe in Mina for other reasons that let's not talk about it, but like they have the they have the appeal, so if that's something that, like you said, Lyric, Tony can literally just give them 5 minutes on TV, not even a match, they're just backstage talking to each other, and that would be like entertaining enough, or they would be able to produce at least one clip that get thousands of likes on Twitter. So if that's like the goal, is to really push these titles and make these titles mean something, that would be the tag team that would be like the most interesting for that to happen for sure.
And I think they're the two of the most complete wrestlers on the roster too. Of just like Tony and Mina can talk, they can wrestle. Like like Mina has gotten a lot of shit about her wrestling ability like over the years, but since she joined AEW, like bro, she's been rock solid. Like she does not waste an opportunity whatsoever. Like that ROH match with Athena was nuts. Absolutely. Like that's probably one of like her career highs. And then I think also too, if you can also use these type of people in Blood and Guts too. Like, like they're willing, they're down for whatever, they're down for whatever, whether it's the hardcore shit, they're down for the one-on-one wrestling, they're down for the promos, the cheeky segments, like they can do it all. And so I think that's what you really need when you're establishing a division from scratch.
Tony's Tony's just an amazing revelation of fucking AEW, man. It's like someone said she's Tony's female Mox, and it's like, bro, she's Tony Storm. You know what I mean? She's not female nothing. She's Tony Storm, bro. Like she's probably like, I think a case could be made. It's like Tony's favorite wrestler of the past couple of years. Man.
Yes.
Like he loves that woman, bro. This is more fitting. The Ace. She's yeah, I think there's a case to be made. She's the biggest star in the company at the moment these days. So she's there's just so much she can do to what Lyric and Anna spoke to as well. So she's so versatile, man. You want to do Blood and Guts. You want to do a comedy angle. You want to do a real match. It's like she always delivers in the ring.
Like she's. I think I will say, out of all the top stars, like in the division between like let's say Chris, Willow, Tony, and Mercedes. Tony's the easiest to book. Like if I'm a booker, like because you can slot her anywhere, right? Like she's genuinely going to be perfect. Like just like she might not be the best wrestler, but she's still enough of a big match wrestler to like give you something serviceable and worth notable. Like just worth talking
many
about.
times.
Absolutely, and like when she talks, people listen and they react accordingly. Like and I even in a way that you can't even really say about Mox. Of even when Tony's matches weren't great, people still weren't like take the title off of her because like she was still engaging and she's still captivating. She does everything, and guess what? She's still under 30. You can literally bet the house on her for the next decade. You can bet the house. You can literally, and I think that's the thing about Tony. She started wrestling so early. So she spent her early 20s basically getting the fundamentals, and like she did the stardom runs and everything. So now this is just fine tuning and polishing. She's set.
Yep. 5-star Grand Prix winner, Tony Storm, by the way. People forget.
What do you mean, bro? She had a whole career's worth of accomplishments before even stepping foot into WWE.
It's insane. She's not even 30. That's
before stepping into AEW and WWE, really.
Who else can you say that about? Like, I don't even think like nobody else is that much of a complete performer except for maybe Hangman, and he's still older than her.
Mercedes, she also.
Yeah, I think Tony's more complete as an overall performer than Hangman. Hangman's better in ring,
character-wise, yeah.
Overall, as an overall performer in wrestling, I think Tony's. To your point earlier, when you said you think she's the easiest to book out of all the top stars in the division, I'd go as far as the whole company. Who in AEW is easier to book? Maybe Will Ospreay, maybe. Because you can just fucking throw him in any match and it'll get so over, and like these live promos and stuff work as well. But like even then, I think Tony maybe like
maybe Samoa Joe, and like you got to think he's like
Samoa Joe's an easy one.
Well, maybe 15 years older than her or something like that. Like that's the only person who is probably as easy to just slot, anywhere. Like she's an all around utility player. She's always going to have value.
So with Tony, you can be like, I need 15 minutes to fill. And you can just be like, Tony can do something. You don't have to put like this great match. You just have to just give her a mic and send her out, bro. Like
in a spotlight. You have to think about, especially for a division, AEW wouldn't even give women live mics for like 8 months at a time. Tony Storm regularly goes out there with just a spotlight and a fucking dream and literally steals the show, lays out on the ground. The crowd goes wild. You put her in the balcony. She addresses the people like Princess Diana. The crowd goes wild. Come on.
It's
She's a
too
rock
easy,
star.
man.
She's a
It's
rock
too
star.
easy. The people
Love
love
Tony
it too
Stark.
much, man. Someone said Bandido in Texas, maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's easy. That's a layup.
Bandito, the things that they have been able to do, like the amount of merch they've been pumping out, Bandito merch they've been pumping out lately. I said,
They know, man. They know.
it's him. He's the one, brother.
He's so him. Like I feel so happy with seeing like him getting so much success now because I've been buying the Bandido stocks for years now. I've been on that train. I was watching him play WG. I was watching him like doing all the indies, and I was like, damn, this guy is so good. Like, why are people not talking about this? Was one of the best wrestlers in the world, and it got to the point that I was crazy. Because why is no one talking about this man? And now everyone is catching up, and I'm so happy. Same thing with Sayaka Mikitani. Like, I got the stocks. Now I'm a billionaire, you know?
I will say,
I'm-
you were an OG Saya shooter. You were an OG Saya shooter for sure.
2020, 2021, before she even got the white belt, and it's still my favorite white belt reign of all time. I genuinely thought, like, when she was white belt champion in Stardom, like 2021, 2022, that was, I genuinely believe, the best title run in the world at the moment. And it was a mid-card title from Stardom, and it was better than any main title of any company in the world. Like, her
matches she had, like the
like,
Hazuki match.
Yes, no, the Natsupoi match, Starlight Kid, like she had so many insane defenses, and it was like just amazing, you know. It was the best title run that anyone had during that period of time during their year, you know. She was just in another level, and then she had the whole like heel turn that also I cannot lie, I was still a bit like, where is this happening? She took a time to adapt, but now
I remember those days.
like,
I was not convinced.
she was. I think everyone was a bit like, you know, it was still a bit shaky. She was trying to
And I
find her
held
footing,
on, man.
but
She held on.
she is the GOAT, and everyone is seeing this. And I was there from day one. My golden phoenix, my phoenix queen. I am a billionaire because of her. I invested early, and like the stocks are out of the roof, you know. And I'm seeing the discussions. Who should be the number one women on the PW whatever? I forgot the name. PW, is that the name of the magazine? I don't know.
PWI.
Yeah, that one. Who should be the number one? I'm sorry, it's a run from second place. Like Saya for me is like miles above, you know. And I'm sorry, Mercedes, my goat EO, like what Saya has been doing for Joshi and in Japan as a whole is just beyond, you know.
I definitely think that from a numerical standpoint, nobody. Let's just be real. Nobody in Japan, period, is pulling out the numbers like off of their name alone. Like, and that's regardless of gender. That Saya has done this year. Like, she's on a completely different planet, especially now that like Naito isn't in the mix anymore. She is the top draw in Japan. Like, she is. Like, to get women back on network television for the first time since the All Japan Women's Days, like, that's nuts. Like,
yeah,
she's on a whole different planet.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy when you see like the women that have been wrestling since that time. You had Io, you had Kairi, you had Mayu, you had Utami, you had Shuri during those times that they were having the 5.5 star matches. You had Tam, you had so many huge
Kairi
names
again.
in women's wrestling. Yeah, but you have so many huge names in women's wrestling during that time. And Saya is the one doing all of this. Of course, it's been like a conjoined like effort from all of them working for years for this. But like Saya, she took the baton in a time that Stardom was like really struggling, that all the big players had left, and it looked like a really hard time for Stardom, and she just took it to a whole different level, you know. So
well, I do think there's one woman to thank. That's not Saya. I think we do have to blame Tam Nakano. Shout out to that goat. She did sacrifice her life force for this to happen. And look at her proteges now. You got to walk the Tom road. I don't know what to tell you. This is all her doing. She literally sacrificed herself for this future. And so when women make it back to the Tokyo Dome, which will be very, very soon, thank Big Tamu for the house.
Big Tam.
She'll definitely be there as
Tam.
well. I think at least on commentary, she will be there. Like there's no way.
To sprinkle her fairy dust all over the Tokyo Dome.
Mm-hmm.
What a beast.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see when this PWI women's thing's gonna come out because it's gonna be a discourse no matter what happened. You just know it, you know. Yeah.
I can't say too much, but yeah, man, it's gonna be.
Oh shit, yeah.
Honestly, the three women that everyone are talking about, like the three women who are kind of in contention for first place, you know, which is Mercedes, Io, and Saya. I'm happy with any of them. Generally, like it's been a while since we got this solid of a top three, and Tony Storm is still there as well. She's still in the contention too. So like, I'm very curious to see who's gonna come out on top because it's such a strong year for all of them. But I think that my top 4 or top 5 even is like very, very solid right now. You know, it doesn't matter the position, as long as they're there. I think is like
this was
fair.
a very competitive year for women's wrestling across the board in the best way possible. Like, I mean, just in the best way possible. Yeah, that's all I can say for right now. I can't wait to talk about it more later, but yeah, very competitive year.
Yeah. What day or date does it come out, Lyric?
We have to write it first. But it comes out last year because it was the holiday issue. So I think it was late November, early December. So it's around that. But yeah, so the writing is going to be happening over like the next 2 weeks of making sure everything's right now.
Okay, getting it all perfect. All right, well, that's going to be a day. I look forward to those days, man. Like, I know some people kind of always complain about like the negatives of the discourse coming out of it, but like I kind of just like, that's interesting, you know. And some people have like genuine opinions on it, and it's like, and we talk, and you kind of reminisce on the years that these great wrestlers have had, and it's like there is a healthy, enjoyable discourse to have from these things, you know. It hasn't always got to be people like crying about who didn't finish in the top 3 or top 10 or whatever, you know.
I think that there's definitely obviously some snubs because I think every time, but just because I mean, one, everybody can't watch everything, and you know, everybody might not even like, you know, have the knowledge of like, you know, the wrestling happening all over the world at all points in time. And plus I think like, you know, hey, I think a lot of times people don't read the criteria. I used to be one of those people be like, why is it such? And then like I actually had to like read the criteria, and then being on the committee of just like you do, that's how you hold yourself accountable. Just, you know, like being able to like look at, okay, how does this person measure up in this category? How does this person measure up in this category? And then at the end of the day, you do have to vote, you know, like you know, everybody might not see things the way that you do. But it is really cool to see like how wrestlers respond to it, especially indie wrestlers. I think that's the best part of the list every year, of seeing like how much it matters to certain people, like, you know, who are still like trying to like cut their teeth in the business. And I think even like international business wrestlers, like last year, like Sari's like reaction to being top 10, like that's the highest that a freelancer has ever placed, at number 6, you know. Like, and I felt like she was the best wrestler in the world last year, pound for pound, but like there's different criteria that goes into it than just the in-ring portion too. So it is what it is. I think it's very interesting. The discourse is going to be crazy, and I think that unfortunately for the women's list, stan culture really gets to all.
Yeah, and it's usually, and you see, like, I mean, we don't want to comment too much on that, but it's usually the stands that do not watch anything else that have the most to say.
Oh, absolutely. You know,
it's like they see a Stardom wrestler, an AEW wrestler on top, and they're like, what do you mean? Why isn't this wrestler on top? And it's like, have you even watched anything that these other wrestlers have done?
The answer is no. I saw WWE fans say, like, you know, who is Io wrestling at Marigo? Who is this? Are you talking about?
Can't say that around
like
Jamie Ross, bro. You can't say that around a lot of people. That's like the Joshi John Cena.
Do not say this around me. You will be like cut, you know. Like, I'm not afraid I'll cut a bitch. Like, Mayu Iwatani is the GOAT. Like, what are you talking about?
Talk about my mom.
Swear, if you don't know who Mayu Iwatani is, I don't think you should have the right to comment about women's wrestling. Period. Like, I am sorry.
Well, especially at least on a list that consider all talent across the world, you know. But yeah, man. I think it's a really cool thing for you to be involved with, man, because of course it has a lot of prestige. As you said, like the wrestlers, it's like the one list that the wrestlers really take count of. Like even when we've done like our wrestler of the year and that, like we've had a great reaction to that from people in the business and of course from our our audience and stuff. And it's always kind of like I guess a day on Twitter when we do it as well. But it's absolutely nothing compared to the PWI 500 or the women's 250 or anything like that. Like there's levels to this, and that's been built in. It's older than all of us, you know. It's older than all of us, so
it's kind of like with like the 5-star ratings and like with Dave and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, people always say like, "Why do you care about like this one man's opinion?" Don't get me wrong, everything should be taken with a grain of salt, right? But when it comes to wrestling, there are very few forms of media that have truly stood the test of time over the years. It's kind of like like think about like the Grammys in music, theater, and the Tonys. Like these institutions have existed for so long to where even if it might be flawed, the way that they vote or like, the diversity of the committees and things, like these are the oldest form of being able to award, people in that particular medium for the accomplishments that they've done. And so because of that, until something reasonably and made on a wide enough scale replaces it, this is what we have. That doesn't mean that, you should believe that you are worthless or that things can't be wrong, if you don't get it. But at the end of the day, this is it, right? And so that's why it does matter. Think about how much it changed the perception out in the West when Okada finished at number one on that list. Think about like how it changed the perception when Kenny gets number one on that list, especially for non-WWE wrestlers.
Yeah.
It matters. Like, it absolutely matters. It's not always perfect. Yeah. Like, I don't agree with Cody finishing number one. Like, what's that about?
What was that about? What was that about? Near that Moxley?
I had Mox personally.
I'm not on that committee, so I'm not on 500 committee.
But also, like, but to your point, when Shuri as well, I think it was Shuri that she got a number one as well, right? Like people lost it. What that did for Stardom as well, like that got so many people into Stardom because they got so many people interested in like who is this person who got number one, where does she wrestle, what is this, why does she got this, so it does have an impact either we like it or it does.
And I try to be like, don't get me wrong, I think internet gives us a very, how do I say it, very insular approach to what people are actually thinking of like super tribalism. But I genuinely believe that we are in a more globalized version of wrestling that's diversifying every day and it's made more accessible every day. I genuinely believe that there are more people than we realize who are actually interested in, wanting to know the wrestling that's out there outside of WWE. Like I genuinely do believe that. And I think like the more that the quote unquote mainstream publications or things like recognize wrestlers outside of like, the typical, what people were used to watching on television, I think that like the next generation hopefully is more aware of, like wrestling on like a larger scale outside of like, Raw and SmackDown, which I think is really cool. Like, and yeah, it's really cool. And I think that people do need to be, I think, applauded for the work that they're doing. Like what Saya's doing right now is we're not seeing that in America. Like we're not seeing American women's wrestling draw on those or even have the opportunities like, draw on this type of scale or, take up this type of space, as its own entity outside of, the predominantly male companies. Like we're not seeing that. So it's really cool to see like people get the due that they're earned because it is historic. And we're going to look back on this time and be like, wow, like this was a real turning point for women's wrestling specifically.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's all really cool to see when people kind of expanding their horizons and kind of how the business has gone, like as Derek said, like, and whoever you want to credit that to, if you want to credit it to AEW, if you want to credit it to WWE with being more, if you want to say AEW forced WWE, whatever it is, at the end of the day, us as fans get the best of it, because there's more collaboration than in most of at least for our audience, most of our fans' lifetimes. You know what I mean? Like you'd
Yeah.
have to go back to like, you know, the territory days where wrestlers were like literally basically freelancers, like actually freelancers. I know they kind of technically are now, but Anna, you've gone completely pitch black.
Am I?
we,
Am I back?
I just
Sorry.
disappeared, bro. It was crazy. Anyway, it threw me off.
Sorry. I
Yeah,
opened a
what's on?
second tab to Google something because I didn't remember what was the men's list, so I wanted to see it, but my Google's on night mode. So I think that I'm being very highly illuminated by my screen. And then when I went to the Google night mode, it was just dark. Because I don't remember
But yeah,
the
man.
men's list, so I was just I know that Cody was number one, and that didn't make sense, but I didn't remember the other ones.
Yeah, people. Yeah, so
I
the
actually-
evaluation period's August to August, isn't it? Basically.
August to August for men, and then it's October to October for women.
Okay, so in that, like, how was Cody number one? Like, because
He lost to
the
Travis
evaluate,
Scott.
yeah,
Let's be
no,
so
but like
honest,
he
you know.
he lost when he lost the belt to Cena. That's
What did he do? That was, like,
pre-evaluation
March.
period,
April. No, it was
and
like
then
April.
he
or
didn't
something.
have the belt. No, he didn't have the belt for the whole evaluation period, did he? He can't have. Is that possible? He only just
No,
From
I
April,
don't think so.
April
He
to
only won it-
August, like for 4 months. What did he do?
he didn't even win it back in the evaluation period. So it's like, where's Mox? You look at him, and it's like, even though, you know, a lot of people like critically it kind of fell apart for like a month or two. You know,
kayfabe wise,
when
like
yeah,
Mox-
like dominant, beat big names, main evented pay-per-views. Like he had the kind of typical PWI number 1 year, you know, like, and he finished second. And it's, again, if Cody didn't drop his belt and stuff, and he really did some huge, amazing, memorable things this year in that
He
evaluation
did not
period since
do
August, but he hasn't.
anything.
you know what?
He didn't do anything.
I will be fair, and here's the thing: I am not shooting for Cody Rhodes by any means. I have no idea how he was even in the conversation, but I will say, as far as men's wrestling is concerned, I don't think anybody had a singularly dominating year. Like, I can't think of anybody, whether it was US, whether it was Japan. Like, I think people had really good stretches, but I don't think anybody had. It's completely different from the women's side, because I think on the women's side, you have at least like anywhere between 4 to 6 people who had dominating years, like just from beginning of the evaluation period to the end, just were really on top. Like the men's side was so murky. That's why I didn't really have anybody that I predicted to be number one, because yeah, no, everybody had such a weird year. Cody had a weird year. Mox was on top, yeah, but people hated most of it. Godo was
Most
on
of
top.
it is. I
Or
don't think most of it. I don't think people hated most of it.
I think
There was a rough period there. Like, we cannot lie
beginning
about
was
that,
awesome.
you know?
Like the beginning,
Yeah.
awesome. The middle was dog shit. The ending was great.
Yeah, the cope and the swerve middle.
World's End
Chapter.
World's End wasn't great either. World's End was carried by the Continental Classic.
But with Mox, you can at least say a few matches that he had during that middle that were like okay, like top tier matches. Which match did Cody have during this period that it was like, you know, blow you out of the water?
Oh no, I want to make it once again clear. I am not shooting for Cody Rhodes.
I know.
It's
not a
No,
question
we
to
know.
you.
Oh, yeah,
we
yeah,
know.
It's
We
a question
know,
to you.
Lyric.
It's a
You're
question-
safe
it's like a
here, man.
question
You're
to
safe.
the people who voted for it, you know, like I generally do
Oh, yeah,
wonder because like how, and like you cannot tell me that he was the men's wrestler that had the best year, because that's like so far off. And that's
I
also
just-
something that I don't know what the criteria is for WWE.
I also
But if you
think
do
too-
count, yeah, because I'm sorry, because if you do count like titles and stuff into it, then I also don't know how I fully feel about it, because I would say in a year, Hangman for me had the best year out of anyone. like the most consistent year, like with story, with matches, with his character. But because he only won a title like at the end of the evaluation period, then he cannot be up there. It's just kind of like, okay.
And he took a lot of big losses though during the evaluation period, at least at the beginning of it. Like towards the end, like I would say the 2025 side was really strong for him. The 2024 side, not so much. I honestly think the biggest snub, and even if he wasn't going to be number one, I think the fact that he wasn't even in the top 5 was crazy.
I
And
know what you're going.
that's Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can feel however you want him to feel. Only the
Mhm.
second foreigner to win the G1 Climax goes on to win the title, successfully defends it in the Tokyo Dome twice. He loses it, but he
Twice.
Whack. Like, come on. Like, Zach not even top 5 is crazy. And the thing is,
Crazy
Insane.
work.
have excellent matches in his reign. Like, that Goto match is still a match of the year.
Yeah.
Like, you can say whatever. The match he had with Shingo, great. He honestly carried the G1. His block in the G1, that block would have fell apart if it wasn't for Zach. Almost everybody in his block had their best match.
He was 12?
Yeah, they had Joe Hendry above him, man. It's nasty work, bro.
Nasty.
Are you kidding me?
He
Are you
main
genuinely
evented the
kidding me?
Dome twice.
Twice.
He's won the world
kidding me?
title twice. Like, it's
fucking
crazy
kidding me?
work, man.
Is this no? I swear, is this a joke? Is this like a fake
Nasty,
list? Is this like an
nasty,
April Fool's
nasty.
prank?
To be honest, and I'm saying this as somebody who liked what Goto did much better, Zach, from a kayfabe perspective, should honestly have been over Goto.
Yeah, easy. And
$6
again,
and Jay Uso?
Listen, in kayfabe, Jay had it.
disgusted.
In
No,
kayfabe
no.
and popularity,
He
Jay had a
paid my
great year.
ass, Monty. What the
He
fuck?
did, bro. He won the world title at Mania and shit, man.
Who cares? Who cares?
He won
He
matches.
cannot. He
It's
cannot.
we're
Did he
talking
main
about
event?
kayfabe.
He didn't even
Did he
still,
main event? Wrestling is not real. Who gives a fuck? It's like, oh my god.
Well, you can't
This
change your
is
criteria
so-
now, Anna, just because you don't
No,
want
but,
to
like,
yeet
this is-
with the
this is-
people, you know.
Guys,
Like,
I just saw the Cody was number 1, and I'm like, I'm not reading this, but like, Zach number 12, 6 positions under Jey Uso. Like, did Jey Uso main event WrestleMania? Zach main evented the Dome twice.
Even
Like,
so,
just for that criteria itself, he won the title twice. I don't give a fuck. Jey Uso won the title once, and he was bad, and he lost it like a month after or something. That's so, like, who votes for this? Who are these people? Oh my god.
honestly, even Mystico at number 10, I'm like, all right. Like, think about it. Even if we want to talk about drawing power, Arena Mexico has been sold out almost every freaking week for like the last for months. For months. Asses are in seats every Friday. They selling out. They're like CMLL is doing incredible business. Like incredible.
yeah. Dave did a tweet like the day after, didn't he? He's like, because someone sent in the criteria, didn't they? And he quote tweeted it. He was like, well, based on this criteria, Mystico is clearly the number 1 wrestler of the year, but he got what 10? Did you say, Lyric? Yeah.
I think it's
This
I will say
Was that how he's Oscar?
I can't say that. Never mind. I can't say that.
No, this is what happens when you get the people to like vote for it who do not actively watch other promotions because like this is just insane. Oh my god. Bring back the people that vote Shuri number 1, like bring back those people. I don't know who was involved in that, but let's bring those people back. Like, let's do an assessment. I don't know who's voting for this. I don't care. Let's do an assessment. Not everyone should be allowed to
get
vote
Anna
for
on
this.
the committee.
No, not even like me, because I can recognize I do not watch everything, and I can recognize I should not be allowed to vote. Only if other people also had the self-awareness, like the world would be a better place. Because what is this list? This is absurd.
Why is this? This is broken Anna's mind. Jey Uso in the top 6. It's broken.
Junior 12.
It's
Mystical
Joe Hendry
Jey
that
Uso.
really-
Joe Hendry above like
I think Joe Hendry in the top 10 is insane. Like,
no, I need
or
everyone
11 or
involved
whatever.
to be jailed. I cannot comprehend this.
In Tokyo and go to Sky.
It's like even like he was on Mania, he got squashed by Randy, bro. Do you know that? Like all this, like it's.
Wait.
Yeah,
This
I
is
don't
the
get
most
it.
disgusting thing I've ever seen. Like, this is so absurd. This is
I don't
someone
understand it,
got
man.
paid. Someone
So,
made
like-
like a big check because this does not make sense.
I want you to know, I could tell you that part though. Nobody's making enough money to like do this, like to do this, like because they got
Joe
paid.
the idea-
Henry, Jay
I just
Uso are
want you to
filling up
know,
some pockets right there.
The
There's
Joe
some
Hendry-
bribery going on.
The Joe Hendry
There-
fed shooters, they do this for the love of the game. I will let you know that.
They should not be allowed to vote. Like, if you're a Joe Henry shooter, why are you voting about wrestling? Like, I'm sorry, what do you know about wrestling? Joe Henry shooters? Oh my god. This is
Listen, man,
disgusting.
shout out Jey Uso, bro. You know,
We are
Top six.
What?
we will not yeet over
Listen,
here. I'll tell you that.
top six.
This,
You know,
this
No,
gentleman broke
we've
my
we've
brain.
peaked.
Like, this is
We've
so
peaked.
insane.
We're never seeing those heights again. You know, we've peaked. And shout out Jey Uso, bro. That's my guy right there.
That's
Actually, what's he-
nasty. That's nasty, Monty.
We the ones, bro.
You know the only bloodline shirt I have from the entire era is the one drop that Sami Zayn did on Pro Wrestling Tees. What is it? What does it say? My dog? My what does it say? Not my oos. What did it? I forgot what the shirt says. It's something like that. But I bought it. The proceeds went to Syria.
The best bloodline era Usos merch is it's a contender for two things. So there's the right hand man because the idea of walking around with a t-shirt that says right hand man on, and there was another one like this was like Thunderdome bloodline, like early Roman J Law, you get me? And Jay had a T, and he had like "I'ma get 'em" on it in big like. And I need that T, you get me? But
This is
yeah,
on
shout out Jay, man. I fuck with these matches, you know. But yeah, with the
I need to see-
PWI
sorry.
thing, I know Anna's
I'll go
like
out.
broken.
No, I'll go dark again. My screen is gonna go dark because I will Google this again because like I cannot believe the disgustingness I've just heard.
Stop it.
Like I need to see the whole top 10. I need to see the whole top 10 like because this is just so absurd.
Let me see.
It's,
I'll find it for you.
Oh my god, guys.
The thing is,
this is just
I
insane.
as you guys can probably tell, like I am quite what's the word I'm looking for?
Wait, my fault. Mystico wasn't 10. Will Ospreay was.
9.
Number
See,
1
okay.
was Cody. Number 2, John Moxley. Number 3, Gunther. Number 4, Hangman. Number 5, Hiroki Goto. Number 6, Jey Uso. Number 7, Swerve Strickland. Number 8, Seth Rollins. Number 9, Mystico. And number 10, Will Ospreay.
Okay, but like that's the thing. I love Goto so much, right? But if he's number 5, how do you explain Zach being number 12?
I agree, but I will say the only difference that I can say the criteria, the business that New Japan did with Goto as champion and his impact on the company overall
It clicked.
cleared were like Zach's impact on the business side as champion. That I 100% can say. Like the Goto Revolution did great business for New Japan. And honestly, at times it was the only thing that was really keeping the lights on.
Yeah. I'm not saying for Zach to be above him. I'm just saying like the gap. from
I
5 to
agree.
Yeah,
12.
it's a big gap.
I would have put them back to back, honestly. If anything, like I can't imagine Jack Sabre Jr. at what was he at number 12?
Yeah, I think it was number 12.
Wow.
Joe Hendry.
Nasty business. Yeah, it's
Like I said, I ain't vote on that one.
it's a tough one. But Lyric, your influence, your membership on the committee, we're hoping it means something
Girl.
for the women's list, you know. But
Girl,
anyway,
if
moving
the
on from
women's list is-
PWI.
No, I just want to make like a public thing. Everyone who voted for this, you have exactly 5 hours to contact me before you were sent a jail order. Like, this
A
is
jail. That's
Do
crazy.
you know you have
Anyway,
30 minutes? 30, 30, 30.
if you guys want to send any, because I forgot to do the plugs at the start of the show, please like and subscribe
13,
as
we got
always. If you guys have any super chats you want to send in, get them in now because I'm going to go through a few questions and stuff from the chat. Shout out Brownsing on Incognito becoming a member. Massively appreciate you, brother. Danny Quang, $5 says Jamie being the one to declare blood and guts means something because to my knowledge only Regal, Mox and Nick Jackson are the only ones to say it. Yeah, that's to a kind of lyrics point earlier, like, you know, this kind of more aggressive streak from Jamie, and that kind of lends into it as well, the way that she kind of you know, got all fired up and announced blood and guts seemingly not out of nowhere, but you know, she was in the moment. So yeah, I think there's something to kind of that theory of like there's something to what's going on with Jamie now, potentially turning heel, also joining the Death Riders, so we'll see.
Oh my god, what happened to my photo? Where's my sorry. No.
Annie, stick around for 2 secs. Big Man Dogs,
Yes.
member, appreciate you, brother. He says, I'm going to need Ibu and Anna to review Jericho's WWE run behind the paywall once it happens.
Many are saying this.
Yeah. This will be happening. Like, I never hope for anyone to go to WWE, but like I really hope for this, you know. I just
on,
need the content. Monty, you should also hope for it. It's free content for
Here's
you.
the thing, guys. I want everybody to know this. Y'all do realize that even if he goes, he is coming back, right? Like, Jericho is 1000% going to come back. I think he's going to collect his Hall of Fame induction. He might do 2 years tops. He will be finishing his career in All Elite Wrestling because Tony's going to let him.
Yeah, he probably will.
He's coming back.
He's coming back, you know. He's looming. He's never.
I just want everybody, don't get too comfortable. He will be coming back, and by then he will be built like a double drawer air fryer, and nobody's gonna care.
A double is crazy. I'll never forget when fucking Dynamite was on after the NBA, bro, and everyone they got the lead in, and everyone just cooking Jericho. That was like first year AEW, bro.
Chris Jericho built like a baby mama. I said, "Oh my god, why would you say that?"
Ibu's finding it questionable right now. Listen, Ibu, you're meant to be sparring, bro. Hitting the pads in the back, training. Like, Ayo, you can't let him skin you alive out there, bro. Like, you gotta hold it down, brother. You gotta hold it down. Like, I've moved WrestlePurists worldwide. Let you have a little extra space today on this wonderful Monday, you know, so you can get in the gym, bro. Get in the gym. You got 25 minutes, bro, before the self-made trade special. I think Ibu's the general manager of WWE. Ayo's doing AEW, and we're gonna see who gets the best trades because Ibu, bro, I can't lie. I think you're the kind of guy that gets fleeced. You know, Ayo's just he's gonna dress up a nice offer for you. You know, he's gonna sprinkle some glitter on it. He's gonna use his words, bro, and you're gonna end up giving him Roman Reigns or some shit, bro. And you can't do that. You can't do that, man. You can't let go of Roman. You can't let go of Io, and there's plenty of others as well.
He said, "I got this."
Just hold strong, brother. Hold strong. Like, I don't even mind. I don't mind AO beating you, but you just gotta put up a good account of yourself, bro. You beat Chris, so that's light work. That's light work, bro.
Beat himself, to be fair. Like,
exactly.
I don't care how you. Here's the thing. I know MJF gets annoying a lot of times, right? You don't give up Max unless like you're getting something real good for it. Like, you don't give him up for free, bro. Like, you just don't. Like, you don't just be like, okay, like, hand over MJF, like, because even if you don't really want him, somebody does, right? Like, he's valuable to somebody. Like,
it's a nasty stat on your record, Ibu. Giving up EO and over Femi. I don't know if I can trust you. I might have to run agenda against you though. You know, AO's gonna be coming for Obafemi, bro. He's gonna be coming in for him. Bro. That's his guy. That's his Niger brother, bro. He's coming in for him. You get me? He's coming in for Obafemi. So make sure you hold strong, bro. What?
Monty, what are you doing when they put Obafemi to tag with the Miz?
Anyway, Javo, who are we thinking is the woman that is presumably linking up with FTR?
This is gonna sound awful, and I know I don't want nobody to jump me, you guys, because this isn't how I want this to happen. But if we're really lucky, it'll be Mercedes, so we can get Mercedes versus Willow again. And here's the thing, Mercedes and FTR are cool. Like, they were backstage when she debuted in the Tokyo Dome, and they they kicked it. Mercedes and they are cool. Confirm.
That would pop me. I'm not expecting it, but it would pop me.
Yeah.
The Chop Sports and Gaming $2. I'd rather see Obafemi retire John Cena than Gunther. I think I think our guy. That's
You think
crazy.
it's a butcher?
Anyway, our guy Andrew Baydal, I think he mentioned this on Twitter because a few people have been saying something similar to this, and it's like, you've done the Cena squash now, bro. Do you know them ones? Like you give it Lesnar, like, for fuck's sake, why? But you did the whole Cena squash towards the end, and you give it to Brock. So like, to just give it over now, I'd rather see. You guys know that I wouldn't be mad at Obafemi coming in and just smoking Seth Rollins on the first night, or even Cody for that matter. You could smoke either one of them. My shirt would be off, bro.
Kevin Owens
Another thing I think would be kind of cool. I'd like to see him win the Rumble on his first night as well.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, the Cena thing, it doesn't excite me as much as it could have if Cena wasn't already just been squashed by Lesnar, because that would take the shine off it. But it'd still be a big thing, but it's just like, I don't know, at this point, just run the Gunther thing, man. Just run the Gunther thing, and hopefully, all these Oba Miz jokes that people try to point at me aren't a reality. And, because I've said, bro, I'll get fucking... I'll go scorched earth, bro. Like, I will lose. I will crash out if they get it seriously wrong with Oba.
Unfortunately, that company does not care about the opinions of black people. So good luck.
Yeah, but it's Oba.
Here's the thing.
It gets to a point, man.
I completely agree with you. I think, like, out of everybody, you can kind of, even though I think they were dead wrong, right? But I do think, like, out of everybody, you can't write him off as being too small. You can't write him off of all the other, excuses they like to make for guys of, like, why they're not making on the main roster. He's not too small. He's not too short. He is the prototype of what a successful WWE superstar should look like. There is no reason other than racism why he should not be successful, and that's just the God honest truth. It's like that. There's no reason, none.
People got very mad at me when Big E dropped his belt. I remember I did a tweet on the main account about, like, how the black champions, like, drop the belts and stuff and don't get rid. And people came at me, bro. Of course, as you'd expect, WWE fans and all that. But, bro, probably not on my main account because I've learned my lessons, But if they do something mad, like, how, like, okay, completely different level of wrestler and prospect, but remember how dominant Karrion Kross was in NXT, and then he came up and immediately lost to Jeff Hardy, and he had, like, a shitty mask and a shitty entrance and stuff, and he didn't have Scarlett with him, and, like, if they did anything even closely resembling that with Oba, like, I don't even want to think about it, bro. Like, it's like,
but they have a history of that, like Omos. Where is he? Jacob Fatu.
But here's the thing. Jacob Fatu's not black. Omos. But
I'm just saying big wrestlers who they just, like, portrayed as this big monster, and then, like, a while later it was just like nothing,
Yeah, I think, like, Oba should just be such, like, a perfect layup though. Like,
you should.
I don't even watch, like, NXT regularly, but, like, I watch his clips and I'm like, he shouldn't be real. Like, he's genuinely not real. Like, any booker should be salivating at the prospect of being able to book him on their show. Anybody who has some sense, he should be booked like Kevin
shit.
Owens was, like on first night, pull up the Raw, lay out John Cena. That's what I'm talking about. We
Real
have
shit,
given
man.
way less
That's the
talent
impact he needs to be making. Day one.
that type of push. And honestly, he the same way that they treat Braun like the future, that's how Obafemi should be treated easily, if not better.
100%.
Actually,
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think because of Oba's even more physical prowess and stuff, like he can just go insane out of the gate, you know. But Dylan Riley, $5. Hi guys, just wondering, since I'm going to the show, early Wrestle Dream card predictions.
It's weird because honestly, I think it really depends on if Blood and Guts ends up being on the pay-per-view or at a later date.
Do you think it will be? Early guess.
I mean, as of right now, I want to lean towards yes. But I would say probably no, just because the double rings is really what makes everything.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that they would do double rings for like the rest of the card. I mean, they could, but also at the time, when else would you do that? Because they don't really run bigger arenas for television anymore. I think the Hangman will end up working either Joe or Claudio.
Please, Joe.
I mean, Joe would be my
What
favorite.
about Pac?
Oh, I would take that too. That'd be great.
Short hair Pac.
Joe would be lovely though. I still want
short hair, clothes on Pac.
What else? That's really about it. I mean, if they don't do Blood and Guts at the pay-per-view, I think that they'll probably do Chris versus Tony. Maybe Mercedes versus, I would hope, Willow. Willow and Beth Coke tag. No, we are good. Thank you though. We are so
Come
good.
on.
No. No.
That's not enough of it, man.
That's not. Here's the thing. That's not our audience.
That's
you know?
good, innocent fun. You know,
that's not our audience, man. Like that's just not. I think that's the same thing. Like with like Mercedes working Soraya, right? That's a dream match for a different audience. I don't think that AEW fans would have been really receptive to it. I'm glad that they did. Now, if this was happening in WWE, sure, but absolutely not. Unfortunately, we don't need that here. And what does it look like with Willow?
Amen. There's lore lyric. There's lore in the chat.
What does it look like with Willow working with Beth while Cope is on his third time off to do a big grand return? Like, what does that? That's crazy. Like that doesn't make.
I'm just saying.
Who's checking for that? If you really want to use Beth, tell her to work Megan Bain. Do that. Do that.
I'm just saying.
What I don't fully know what the stories are being in AEW right now. Like Brodido, do they have like any tag teams that are kind of going for it?
Oh, they're just beating
like,
everyone. It's
yeah,
fucking godly.
They are extremely godly, but I would like to see like a Kyle Fletcher versus Kenny Omega match. You know, I feel like Wrestle Dream, like, yeah, Kenny should be in that card, and I feel like him being in the card against Kyle would be the best way to use him right now. I would like to see like the Bucks doing something as well. I don't know why, but for me, Wrestle Dream always comes across as like the pay-per-view that is like, this is wrestling, you know, like nothing else.
I think that was the vibe that went for, isn't it, at the start?
Yeah, wrestling. That's why I don't think Blood and Guts is going to be there. Because I also saw someone in the chat saying that the seat charge is just for one ring. Yeah. So I think that's going to be like a Dynamite main event or something. But I think it's just like, yeah, that's a good one. That would also be nice. I just want like pure, like real, good, straight up wrestling, no bullshit, red wine, you know, like I just want good matches. That's all I care about.
I hear you. All right, well,
I know a stipulation. Let's not do that. Any of those acting like this is not a theater show. Come on,
we already got
serious here.
Darby and I Quit match. Like they're gonna try to kill each other. So like, it's gonna be a lot anyway.
That's enough, you know. That's enough.
Also, I do think that we'll probably get like a match either the beginning of the women's tag tournament, probably the beginning of the tournament, or the end of the tournament. So I do think like there's probably going to be some type of tag tournament match on there.
Answer the question, Lyric.
What does Beth
Answer
have to do for y'all to accept her? It's not even the fact that I don't accept her. I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect.
I know. I'm just messing around. But...
I just think that what she has to offer isn't really like, think about this division is finally moving, right? Like new world champ, tag title, blood and guts. Like there's a lot of different stories to explore with the women that are already here. I don't think we really need nostalgia pops, especially if nostalgia pops for another audience. I honestly felt like that was kind of done to kind of counter program like the AJ Lee stuff happening also that night. It's not comparable. Because who cares? Who asked for it? You know?
I just think it's like a wife who wants to do something fun with her husband, you know, like.
And I respect that, man.
Yeah, which I think is completely fair, and I think she should be able to if she wants to, you know, like she's just chill. Like there's many worse wrestlers. That's a company that gave like. That's a company that gave hours and hours of TV to Chris Jericho. Like Beth Phoenix is not the worst possible option.
This is what I'm saying, guys. Why would Willow team up with Beth Copeland if the reason why Adam Copeland is off television to take care of Beth Copeland?
Hey man, I'm just saying. And Jean-Pierre, $5. I know that Kenny is in a given mood lately, but I'd like to see the Kenny that was in the promo post the Dome match claim everything that's his. Yeah, that's one of my favorite promos of the year, to be honest.
Me too. I want my goat, and especially he said that he got his special treatment in Japan because his best doctors are there. I'm trying to see him really crash something when he come back. Like, fuck this. Like, you know, let's get this Fletcher match out of the way. Let's get this Swerve match on the books when he's back. Like, you know, I'm ready to see, like, and here's the thing. I'm not expecting, like, him to work Tokyo Dome matches. Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. But I think Kenny has a lot to give still.
Definitely.
And a lot of people, even right now with his body not being where, like, I know he'd like it to be, he's still given so much to the people he's actually worked this year. Everything that he's been involved in this year has had value. And he's still the man. He's still the god of professional wrestling.
That's Kenny Omega, bro. You know, put respect on his name. But yeah, I guess as we kind of wrap up here before these guys do, I guess we send you guys over to Selfmade to listen to the trade special with Ibu and AO. There was a big announcement over the weekend. NXT and TNA. They finally pulled the trigger. We was all expecting it eventually, you know, but they started the invasion angle, I guess, last week with the angle on Tuesday, NXT. And then this weekend, official announcement at NXT No Mercy. They announced Invasion, bringing back that old name. NXT and TNA Survivor Series style pay-per-view. The only actual announced outside, the one for the women, one for the men, by the way, on those Survivor Series style matches. And then the first match they announced was tag title versus title, Hardys versus Dark State, which is a hilarious first match to announce, but fuck it. I'd assume the Hardys win that one. Also noteworthy. Even though it is Tuesday, and of course, like, it's their slot, I guess. It is worth noting that it does go head to head with AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday. Is it a Dynamite?
Yeah, it's Title
Title Tuesday. So of course they're going to be putting on a big show, and that means you know how nasty WWE can be with bolstering up those NXT shows. So it wouldn't surprise me if we get like AJ Styles on Invasion. If we get, I don't know, some other like top end stars, like maybe not gonna throw Cody Rhodes and Undertaker and them at it again.
Like McIntyre or something.
Yeah, like McIntyre, AJ, like people like that, man. I think they could end up being called in, depending on, I guess. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what Tony throws on this Title Tuesday as well, bro, because, you know, I doubt he's just going to lie down and fucking take it, bro. Like, he's going to combat in some formal way, or at least put a respectable card to go against it. Because even if we don't rate like the matches and the graphics that this invasion will produce, it's kind of, you know, in I guess kind of in the general wrestling bubble, like it's an occasion, like it's a big show, you know. So it'll be interesting. We'll see what nasty business WWE tries to pull on that one. You know, Tony commented recently that he's just basically, you know, someone asked him about the WWE counter programming and stuff like that, and his vibe seems to just be like, "Yo, we're rolling with the punches and we're doing it well at the minute," you know, because they are.
Shout out to AEW PR. Like I will say, like he tightened up the ship. I hear his answers these days. I said, Tony, is that you? Wow. Look at you.
They're actually doing their job now.
I don't even think that people weren't doing their job. I don't think he gave a fuck. I genuinely don't think he cared. You could give Tony Khan talking points. He didn't give a fuck. He was going to go in there and say whatever he wanted to say. But I think they've reined him in.
Yeah, man. Tony's a poster at heart, bro. He's a poster at heart. He's a mark at heart, but he's also a billionaire that genuinely does seem like a pretty decent guy, you know. So it's like
he is definitely on Reddit. He's you just know that, you know.
I say this to anyone that I have extended conversations about like booking and AEW and Tony and stuff, and it's just like, bro, like it's been 6 years and we're watching Tony develop and learn to be a booker in real time, you know. Yeah. And it's not, and I don't think that means you can excuse him of doing bullshit that he's done over the years, and I'm sure there's been plenty of occasions that we've all called him out, you know. But it is like now that they're at a place like you just mentioned, the PR, you know, and it's like he's slowly, and because he's so young, I think he's just going to get better and better and better until he gets to a point like he isn't falling off like that Vince cliff until a couple decades from now, because he's so young, you know. Like how old is he? Like 40?
40.
Like,
yeah, I think also AEW now has its own identity, and I think like it's going to take a while to develop that. Even if you like fully believe in your product, right? Because the monopoly lasted for so long. I think even the booker has to also train their mind to believe in an alternative form of wrestling. And that includes like, you know, with recruiting, signing talent, you know, investing, building talent, like all of those things go into that. But I think the company finally has its own identity. And I think that's making it easier for him too, to, you know, answer some of these questions and to just focus on what AEW has to going on. I think like that's the problem. A lot of times companies, I think we saw TNA do it, when you get baited in the, oh yeah, I want to go head to head. That's the quickest way to kill your product. Like that is the quickest way to kill what you got going on. Like you can't take the bait, you know. And I think that's the thing. WWE wants you to take the bait. They want you to try to compete with them and do what they do and like, you know, try to be like them. You can't take the bait. You got to focus on what you got going on.
They're in a good place, man. They're in a good place. It's like pretty much everything, echoing everything Lyrics just said. I agree 100%. Quick, just the Chops Sports and Gaming $2. Appreciate you again. Rusev versus Ilya IC title happening Monday. I'll have to ask, but I'll try and get Ibu to let you guys know tomorrow if it doesn't become abundantly obvious tonight. If Ilya returns, I don't know. I haven't heard or I haven't asked about that, so I can't.
Rusev.
I can't give you any spoiler that you might be looking for there. Apologies, but like I said, I will ask, and hopefully tomorrow, maybe there'll be something there. You know. All right, we're wrapping up. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, we're sending you guys over to South May for the Ibu versus AO trade special. WWE versus AEW. They're going to do some trades. Ibu is going to try hold it down, and AO is going to apply a lot of pressure. He's going to shout at him. He's going to back him into a corner. He's going to pull a knife out, and Ibu's got to hold it down, bro. You know. And I'm not saying Ibu needs to win, but he just needs to hold it down for himself, you know, put in a respectable performance. So good luck to the guys. Hope you have a great stream. Appreciate you two as well, Lyric and Anna, as always. And appreciate you guys for tuning in. Lyric, do you want to plug anything quickly before we get out of here?
No. Oh, wow. I do. I have something to plug. Sorry. Danny from Black Girl Wrestling released
Yes.
the Osprey project this past weekend. Please go check that out. I've never seen that type of extensive work like outside of like reading somebody's master's thesis. It's absolutely incredible. Please, well, I don't want to say harass, but please, politely ask Will Osprey to come on the show to talk about it. But no, it's really awesome. Make sure that you go support that project at Black Girl Wrestling on Twitter. Yeah, that's all I really have to plug.
But yeah, man, support WrestlePurists, support Black Girl Wrestling, support PWY, support Self-Made, support all the above. Just making wrestling content to entertain you guys. Appreciate you guys spending your Monday afternoon with us, and we'll see you next time. Peace.